So good day everyone, to whoever is watching. My name is Lovely and now I'm going to talk about my critique on the scientific paper Mechanisms Influencing the Spread of Native Marine Alga by Dilly Zhang, Tim Gillespie, Peter Ralph, and Paul Griven on the year 2014. So what is the paper about? So the paper talks about how invasive species are not the only ones threatening the ecological balance of a ecosystem, and that competition between native species can also affect this. So, and the native species that are of interest in this study is the Caulerpa filiformis and the sargassum. So, the researchers have 3 sites: the Bellambi Beach, Pearl Beach, and Cronulla Beach. And in these 3 sites, they also have 3 different areas: the Caulerpa habitat, sargassum habitat, and the boundary between the Caulerpa and sargassum habitat. So what are these areas for? It is the area where they made physical disturbance by creating clear patches of different sizes, and they created these clear patches to simulate the physical disturbance that happens on the areas, and to see if what organism inhabits the area first, and who wins in basically inhabiting the clear patch. And then they also use chlorophyll fluorescence to test the stress level of the sargassum that is near the Caulerpa habitat and far from the Caulerpa habitat, to test if the Caulerpa really affects the physiological mechanisms of the sargassum. Then what the positives about the paper? So what I like about the paper is that its methodology gives readers a clear picture of what was done. So by reading the methodology, I can visualize what the researchers did, and I can therefore follow or use their methods as a reference in my future experiments as a student, as a science student. And then next is that there is no unnecessary use of complicated terminologies, which I am really thankful for, because it is really hard to read a scientific paper when every sentence or every paragraph there's a term that I don't know, or I need to look and search for on the internet. So that's I really appreciated that. And then next is that it gives a new insight of the competition between native species. So as what I've said before, people usually think that competitions are typically aggressive between invasive and native species, but this can also be the same for between native species. So what can be improved in the paper? So for me, it would be really good if the title would have the area or country at least of where the study took place, because the title Mechanisms Influencing the Spread of Native Marine Alga is kind of vague, and it would be good if it's the spread of native marine alga on the coast of Australia. That's just 3 words and it doesn't really cost much, I think. So, and next is that it is good that the paper has a map to show the study areas of where the experiments are conducted. but it would be better if it, instead of a normal map, it is a geologic or topographic map, because in the paper the researchers talk about difficulties in creating patches in these areas because it's rocky, these areas because it's stony, or it has many like holes in the substrate. And then next is the clear dates on when the experimentation happened didn't really come up, or the clear dates like month range when the experimentation happened didn't really come up. I think the experimentation is in winter, but I'm not really sure because it is not really written on paper. And then lastly, the researchers should recheck the tables and graphs, because on table 2 I can see that there is a duplication in the factor name. The disturbance site, there are 2 disturbance X site, which I think is the other one is for habitat X site, but I don't know which one is for the habitat X site, because there is 2 duplicates of disturbance X site. So that's it. And then the results of the paper, it is really useful because the results talk about how Caulerpa filiformis has an advantage than sargassum in inhabiting the clear patches, because on most of the clear patches, so the Caulerpa is more and is the first one to spread on the clear patches. And also on the chlorophyll fluorescence test, it also showed that being near the Caulerpa affects the sargassum in a negative way. And then the relevance of the study, it is really relevant because this study can or studies like this can be used as an indicator of climate change, because the spreading of native species or the spreading of native species past the range is really can be an effect of climate change, because the native species won't move past the range if the factors on that area is not changed. The water temperature, for example, or the substrate is on their niche na, on their favor. So that's why it can also be used as an indicator of climate change if further studied. And if I don't know if you compare the data collected on the spread of the native species on the data collected on the present and the data collected on the past, so that could be as well one of it. So that's it. I hope that you've understand what I've talked about the paper, and that what I really like the paper. So that's it, the end. Thank you.